How to become better at Killer in Dead by Daylight. Playing as Killer in the game can be stressful for a lot of players, and can take a bit of practice to actually become better. So here are a few of my tips. First, you want to figure out what Killer abilities actually work best for you. Easier Killers to learn will allow you to actually focus on the actual gameplay mechanics rather than trying to figure out how to use your ability, especially since each Killer has a slightly different playstyle from the rest. For example, playing as the Singularity, you will have to use your bipods and predict people's movements regularly to use him effectively, while the Deathslinger is just point and shoot at someone. Some of the easier Killers I would recommend are Wraith, Deathslinger, Bubba, Dredge, and Trapper, since their abilities are pretty straightforward. Now you want to be able to learn how to mind game effectively. This means when you are at a loop, you can make the survivors think you are going one way when you are actually going another direction. Keep in mind when you are doing this, you have a huge red stain in the direction you are looking in, so you want to try to hide this while you are mind gaming. You can do this by facing most walls or walking backwards. A common trick I use is when a survivor is sitting next to a downed pallet. Make your red stain peak just a little so they think you are coming, and then turn around and go to the other side and get the hit. This will make them usually vault over the pallet since they think you're coming from behind them. You'll be able to hear them actually vault the pallet, so listen for that also. And another thing you can do is when you are both walking by a window, go in one direction, and then when you break line of sight, go in the other direction. If they aren't paying attention to this, it'll catch them off guard. If you need extra help with mind games, you can also use aura reading perks like I'm All Ears, Phantom Fear, or any others. You will also want to learn sound cues. This means grunts of pain, locker opening and closing, vaulting, and the whole 9 yards. This will allow you to understand what is happening around you when you can't actually see it. For example, you can tell a survivor vaulted a window even if you don't see it because you can hear the thud it makes or the slight grunt. Or if you are in a building with an upstairs, you can hear a survivor jump down because they let out a scream. You can also tell how much progress a generator has by listening to how loud it is, without actually having to see it. So, learning all these is crucial to making you a better killer and mind gamer. You also want to learn how to apply your killer's ability. As I mentioned before, they all have slightly different playstyles. So for ranged killers like the Deathslinger or Huntress, you can use their ability when people are out in the open, or when you know they are going to be in a specific spot or stuck in an animation, such as vaulting or dropping a pallet. Then hit them with your ability. Compared to the Dredge, who you want to use to create pressure on people who are working on gens, and also cut off survivors in the middle of chase by teleporting in front of their route. And finally, another thing to keep in mind is 3 gens are a lot easier to cover in endgame than all the gens. If you haven't heard of 3 genning, it means when the last generator in the match needs to be completed, there are only 3 gens on the map. But 3 genning specifically means these gens are really close together, so the killer can actually go between them super quickly. So in the beginning of the match, you can find where the 3 gens are that are closest together and guard them the most aggressively. That way it is much harder for survivors in the endgame. But of course, you also want to slow them down on other gens and still get hooks before then. If you guys want more tips, then let me know down in the comments. If you found this video helpful, then consider dropping a follow and checking out my other platforms. I would really appreciate it.